take a look at yesterday's movement. I mean, pretty similar to the day before, right? A lot of nothing in the morning, and then all of a sudden in the afternoon, we had some movement. Well, yesterday, actually, we had some movement from the get go. I guess it was Monday. Yeah. Bunch of this, and then the afternoon kind of took off. It was a lot very similar yesterday. A lot of noise, then a grind breakdown. Eventually got to a little area, little structure spot. We just kind of turned around on. I was not watching this, but there's that pattern. There's that look. Really good stuff on the 5 minute chart there. Morning, Kyle. But yeah, set area on a 4 hour. Yeah, right there. We had this here for quite some time, and price just continues to kind of play with these little structure areas that we have marked. So I was not around the market at this time yesterday, but it did pretty much stay true to that. And then, we had that nice run in the afternoon. So, and yesterday's, what, finally got that little Casper thing kind of come up, and then we just slammed down. Two reasons why I walked away from that. One, I'd already traded, made some money in the morning. And then, but three, we'd kind of pushed up so high. After that, I think it was right around this candle. I was like, nah, I think I'm good. I'm going to go ahead and cancel it. And we popped all the way back up to this almost the high of the day. And then we started falling. So, um, yeah. But again, it was made easier because I had made a little money earlier in the day. So, take away that chance. And if I'm waiting on this, I probably don't walk away from it. I don't know. But, jumped in a short and then took a long, I think somewhere like right here on the NQ. Was on the end short on the ES, and then took a long on the NQ, closing out the ES at the same time. So I was able to make some decent little profit on the ES, and then a quick pop. I was right here. A quick pop on the NQ for about 20. It wasn't quite 20 points. It was like 17 points, something like that. It was right in here. So based on the candlestick, based on you know, this look here, and then we had that nice wick down on that hammer candle right there. So when this kind of came down, started to go up, I went ahead and jumped in. I think I mentioned how I like that candle. And then we just had an immediate pop. And that was one of those scalp trays that just, you feel it and you just all in and all out type of thing. And then it rolled. So this right here would have been another great area for entry after these wicks got taken. So nice consolidation, drop into higher time frame POI. Small little consolidation, full on rejection right there. So 3 minute chart, you probably had a fair value gap that you could have played probably somewhere right in there as we broke through structure, or could have waited for that right there. Another opportunity right there as we start to get back above this mean threshold or consequent encroachment. Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. I mean, good patience to wait, but also to feel good. It was this right here, right? That's where you got in. Yeah. So just looking back at that, I mean, this down move right here, I think Chris, you caught it on the ES. Um, there was a little area right in here that, let me just look at the ES. There you go. Break structure, consolidation, push up into it, and then that fall right there. So, or you were in this all day, right? I think that was the trade you were still in from the earlier. Right. I got you. So kind of a break even on the day. That's not bad. But I mean, this is kind of a grind. It's kind of hard to hold on and not overanalyze and think through and, add to it or not add to it. And then, by this time you're mentally drained and then this happens, you're already away from it probably. But yeah, great setup on the ES too, just like the NQ consolidation, fall back down into almost lower time frame. I mean, higher time frame POI, but there's probably some area in this, probably some stuff in this area right here that would have constituted a structure and then immediate rejection through it. Break a structure, a little bit of fair value gap right there. Setup looks better on the NQ right through here. And then there was another setup up here on the NQ that's not on the ES. But again, lower time frame, you probably can find one or two different entries right in there. But I mean, same pattern. So today we've broken through the highs. I mean, the chart just keeps looking very similar every single day, right? Monday, we had this low and then this push. Tuesday, we got up here, dropped down, then we pushed. Wednesday, we consolidated, dropped down, and then we pushed. So we're still got some liquidity up in here that we can come get. It's actually doing the same thing this morning that it was doing yesterday morning on this push up and the Tuesday morning as well. Um, so we do have some news again today. Today's CPI. So PPI was actually for the dollar, and that's the reason we had this drop uh, for most of the day, and then recovery. So news didn't change the trend, just kind of gave it a hiccup. See what CPI does to it today. 8:30 unemployment claims at the same time, and then tonight's the China stuff that'll drop. That definitely should affect the dollar, um, which will may affect the futures overnight. Extend this one out. Someone would probably look at that a little bit more. And then buy side. Almost getting a little noisy right here. I might have to change that. I think I'm gonna take that one off. Up into the hourly, see if I can find something different. I don't think so though. We are up into this liquidity right here, that level. So right? This consequent encroachment. Oh, the 21. Yeah. The moving average. Yeah, for sure. Right. It seems to be um pretty good little thing. It's funny though, like I don't like I've got it there and sometimes it'll be like in hindsight, like I look at it and go, "Oh, well, in addition to what I've been looking at, it also has bounced or rejected the 21." But yeah, definitely showing that trend, right? We leveled out here, we finally got above it, and then we've just been, running with it. So it's definitely showing that trend to the upside. I like this right here. Make that a solid line. Actually, gonna get a little thicker. So kind of like how that's moving. Looks like if we clone it, we might have no. Uh, Second touch. So this could be an area where we come back down into. It might coincide with something like that. All right, like over in here, and then the 21. If it levels out, I don't know. We moved pretty good yesterday afternoon. So, but decent little inefficiency. We've got structure right here. I like all of that. And as you can see, we're just kind of building that up. If we do something like we did, where's that? Oh, if you go to a 4 hour, you can see it. So got here and we started building up all that liquidity. We only grabbed this first little area. This right here dropped down and grabbed some of that. Right. So now that we're kind of putting that in, it seems like we should have like a little drop into that liquidity and then a bounce from there. It just kind of seems like what it's wanting to do this week. If the news comes in, we might, especially CPI, we might get a little bit of a further drop. We'll just see. Um, but on the hourly, to me, it's a little bit cleaner. So this was PPI news. This little drop, this little dip because the dollar. That was PPI news for the dollar. Right, we had already started making this move down, and then the news kind of helped bang it back up. Get on the hourly, you can see it better. And just dropped down, then a push from the dollar, and then it just kind of sold off the rest of the night. But we're starting to get this little reaction overnight. It's London. So it with this break through the gap and the way it's kind of holding right here, we'll just have to see. Um, because it was a lot of downward movement, but it didn't really go anywhere. Right. So still have liquidity up and above these areas they could come get, but I don't really know what the dollar is going to do. So sometimes it helps the market, sometimes it's going with the market. I don't know. So just to play this, like again, the way it has been the last few days, we are getting some liquidity right in here. I fully expect a little pullback. Don't know if this structure line will hold right here or if we'll come all the way down to this trend or if news will actually dip us further. Um, but I fully expect a pullback. We got inefficiency in here that we need to take care of. We did leave some open inefficiency down in here that price could come all the way back down into. Same way here, but to me, I don't expect this to be touched yet. If the Bank of England and Lagarde from the ECB start talking negative stuff on their currency, then yeah, the dollar could push the market down into these areas. But I think for today, Thursday, uh, I feel like this liquidity is going to be pulled into. I don't think we're going to make a run up right away. I think we're going to make a drop into liquidity first and inefficiency, kind of hang out, something like that. Let me clear that up. Drop down, hang out, a little bit of a fake out to the bottom, and then a push. This might happen at like 2 o'clock again, right? So, yeah, always. It's like, right now it's like walking up to a slot machine and expecting to win, right? On the first pull. Not gonna happen. I don't think it's gambling per se, but um, with news and stuff, you just don't know how it's going to affect it. Like yesterday, we had that push up and then the drop. When the news first came out, it was like should have been negative for the market. We pushed up and then we just kind of trickled and sold off and grinded down until we hit basically some structure area, and then we started pushing. So, like CPI could change the direction. You know, CPI. Well, I'd say change the direction. It could temporarily, break some structures. So, especially if we start falling early and then CPI comes out, like we could get a good dip from it and then a grind the rest of the day. Like the big move be here pretty quick, and then we just grind back up. But, I think in the moments that everything's kind of going down, you just got to look for, where's the best possible scenario for liquidity, right? We took out Asian highs, we dipped all the way down. Asia lows are still there, but we dipped down. We took out that liquidity below it, and now we're grinding back up. Like this is not a convincing push, but overnight, London, none of that. It hasn't been convincing every one of the days overnight. So this is like one of the best Londons we've had. Let me go. Let me change this for a second. Where's that? Oh yeah, there. All right, so this will show the last few days. Right. Yeah, yesterday's 2 p.m. news definitely turned it. So, but to me, there's already stuff that we kind of already knew because those are the FOMC minutes from a month ago. But so most of that stuff you would have assumed has been kind of priced in, but we had such a fall off yesterday, and it just didn't. It just kind of regained its trend. But yeah, definitely a heck of a move, and it was definitely some um, dovish news, like they call it. So dovish is bad, hawkish is good. But as you can see, like very flat London and Asia sessions. This is a grind. It kind of moved, but it's kind of a grind. It's more of a grind, and it's taken out the highs all the way through it, even down here. That's a pretty good little London, but took out the Asias as well. So it's really doing the same thing over and over overnight. Let me take this off. There. So we're getting this seek and destroy type of pattern overnight. This one though left the Asia lows open right there at the daily as well. So I bet a 30-minute chart. This is going to be one solid green candle and then a push. Let's see. Because so looking at that 30-minute, we might get a little bit of a move to the top side of it. And then you'll have to look in this area for mean threshold probably. I don't know. I don't really trust that all that much. I like the initial scenario where we end up falling all the way back down into here at news or before news, however that works out, and then after news we'll just leave a gap for news, and then wherever we're at, I think we end up kind of grinding back into the area that we not necessarily where we started from. It really just depends on how low we go, but every time I talk about the news dropping the market or pushing, having it usually goes in the opposite direction. So I don't want to throw out a bias on where I think news is going to take us, and then it doesn't happen. But I fully expect liquidity to be taken out, getting down into the structure trend line, and then we just regain the trend that we're on. So let me quiet that noise. Look at the ES real quick. Take that off. I don't think I'm gonna put this dotted line across there. We've got Asia lows and the daily right there at the same place, so I don't think it's unnecessary. I kind of like this though, but that's right about where we have. Let me take this off. See, the trend's a little bit different here, a little bit further away. I'm not gonna leave this here, but it's a little bit further away. I don't know. That body's pretty high right there. It looks like a lot more inefficiency than the NQ, right? Maybe I'm just seeing it. I'm remembering it in a different time frame. Yeah. Never mind. Yeah. Very similar move. It's been like that all week. We did have some divergence in between the ES and the NQ, but you know, I like this. I like the structure line right here. We're already making highs. We're taking out London here. NQ, I don't think we have. Uh, yeah, we haven't done it yet. So a little bit of a divergence there. We could start seeing that fall. That would be bearish divergence for the NQ. NQ being the weaker one as well. Um, fair value gap situated with this fair value gap. So a little bit of a balanced price range there. If for some reason we start breaking down, we could look to see taking a short. The inverted fair value gap right there, right? Further down in that structure or even down into that trend, depending on the news. This is one big order block on a higher time frame. It's 4 hour time frame, almost positive, right? Where that's a solid. Yep. So you could put this right here. I'm gonna thin that out. Top of that, or you could go ahead and box in your entire order block, color it purple. And this could be an area where you could look for price to hold. If it didn't, then maybe tomorrow an area where price can bounce and continue lower. So I like that on the ES right there. So go back into lower time frames, go 15 minute. Yeah, I would say, if news starts bringing us down, I like a little pop up there. And then down into this order block. And this is where we're going to see how it works. You can even put like the mean threshold on it. That could be like your line in the sand kind of thing, where price ends up working its way down. If that's the area, then we go from there. I don't think it's going to be that perfect, but it could be. You never know. I mean, it was on the NQ with that bottom there. So yeah, I really like that. I might end up charting that out on the NQ as well. This could be a target area, right? Keep pushing, and then we start dropping. We get a reason to go short. This could be an area to target. Um, so that would be definitely somewhere I would be looking for. As a good evening, Toshie. I mean, like it's obviously news dependent, but nice. And of course, the other scenario is that the news is completely bearish for the dollar and the market just shoots up. We never see these lows. Just throw it all out. But nah, I like the fact that we're setting up liquidity here for a pullback into it. The news might get us down into this area because that's going to be a pretty good move, right? It's going to be a big drop. So if we don't lose a lot of this earlier before the news, then the news ends up being bearish for the market, and I like the way it's setting up that way. We could get down into that. Two, you really want any more confluence? Let's just say that's our high. It might not be, but there you go. 70 is perfectly situated on that mean threshold. Price at the top of this block, 4401. But yeah, if you needed any more type of confluence, there you go. That's like I mean, look how perfectly that is. It's just absolutely. And yeah, another perfect number, OTE. So because it's setting up this perfect, there's no way that that works that good. It's good to have on the chart. But if it does, man, you can just we clip this the whole time and just keep reusing this right here. Order block, OTE, trend line, discount, mean threshold, liquidity, inefficiency, you name it. Now that's analyzing a chart, right? Never, I didn't see that in the beginning. You just keep kind of going back and forth with the structure and talking about liquidity and everything, and then you start realizing, wait a second, there's an order block here. Oh well, this also looks like an OTE. Look at the mean threshold. Like, you know what I mean? That's analyzing a chart. You just keep kind of going through it over and over. Setting it up with a stop down here at 376 or the Monday high. Start charting that on the NQ as well. So we go to the 4 hour. You can have a similar order block, not the same, but similar. Sorry, I know I'm whipping you all around there. Drop in main threshold. Let's drop it into a 15-minute chart. Gotta admit, it doesn't look as good as the ES there. Oh, there. But similar area. I think I'm going to take this consequent encroachment out. All right. I think this liquidity looks better than the ES's liquidity, but um, I think the setup with the order block looks almost it looks better with the ES. But similar area, same and the same reason. So looks like we're about to get that pullback. Look how perfect that is. Pretty good move down, just grinded back up since the line, 3 o'clock. Come all the way to the highs, rejected it. 3 minute. Pretty good risk reward. I'd take that. I don't know if it'll come back up and get this, but yeah, man, I just saw that a little bit too late. This might be the better spot for it though. This structure right there. So 29. But this is one of those almost like a Cameron trade, but we just didn't take out these highs though. Let's see, kitchen back to the 21. There you go. Yeah. We'll leave that there. But but yeah, I think this is the scenario in which I would like to see today, if not overnight, right? Even if we don't get to this area today, but we don't break like crazy new highs or anything like we did yesterday, then this could be a Friday area as well. And if we hold up, let's say Thursday just kind of ranges, right? And then Friday we get this dump into this area. You can look at it two different ways, right? We can consolidate and bounce, or if we break through it, we can come back up and use it as a short area to get involved in on the higher time frames. For lowers, for lower structure. So having that there, targets and entries, it's definitely going to pop up. Just a matter of, do we come back up into these areas up in here before going down? Because 4.5 is a pretty small stop for the NQ. See if I can't. I don't really care for that candle. So I'm gonna wait for a little more structure. So if the next candle um, gives me something like that, I will wait for the next. Oh, I'll leave that there. I will wait for kind of a push up here. I don't know why it's doing that. And of course, it's not going to give me what I want, but so just looking at those candles, I like the little rejection there. I wish it had rejected further down. We get back up closer to my entry right here, I might take it short. Or I might miss the old trade. Yeah. Um, go to 2 minute chart. There you go. So probably going to get the same kind of situation that I was talking about on the 1 minute chart. Um, this candle closing, I would like to see this push up into here, and then I'll take my trade somewhere in the mid range of that, and then catch the rollover. So that's the way I'm going to trade that. Yeah, definitely no kill zone time. This is just one of those like I'm not trading. I'm not trading time or price. I'm not trading. I'm trading candlesticks. Right. I've got liquidity here, and I feel like analysis wise, we're going to grab this liquidity, and I'm just going to try and take a quick scalp. I'm going to be all in, all out type of trade. So, but I would like to see this run up about midway into here, even if I don't get the exact entry I wanted up here. Go ahead and go in there. I'll put my stop here. My risk reward is not going to be as good, but it'll still be pretty decent. Now it's gonna run. Take it easy, Chris. Have a good one, man. Thanks for being here this morning. But again, with this type of trade too, I want to see it just kind of go, right? I don't want to see choppiness right here. This is going to be one of those like I just have a feeling that we're about to grab this liquidity, and I want to take that quick dip in and out. I really don't think I've given it enough room, to be honest. But being a quick scalp like it is, I would rather I'm either going to be right now, or I'm going to be wrong and waiting. So, or wrong and out with this type of a trade. So, the 3 minute chart, yeah, it's kind of looking like the 2 minute chart was just a second ago, but the type of movement that it's giving me now, I don't really care for it. Like again, it's one of those things where I want to be. This needs to just go now, or I need to just go ahead and get out and wait for another scenario. See what this candle does. My finger is on the trigger. My phone. So yeah, no, this is not what I wanted. I wanted to see one of these candles, one of these quick little just drop into liquidity type of candles, and so I can get in and out. My initial entry would have been profitable right now, but it is what it is. There we go. Need to see it just come on down. Momentum. I like that little gap. Just needs to keep going. There we go. I know, right? This is that time. Look at we got wicks right here. If we ever get below these wicks, then it should just dump. The fact that we're holding, it makes me, should have been a little more patient and got it up here because I just got to break even with it. But come on. I want to see a close below these lows right in here. I don't want to see it bounce back up on this candle. If not, then I have a feeling we're going to make another move to the upside, and it will probably end up coming all the way up in here. Yeah, see how we're just kind of holding. Already too long into this scout. Like I want it to just go. This is not one of those trades where I'm looking for, 30, 40 points. I just want that quick 10 to 15, and it's not giving it to me. I want to reduce risk. Do it on the phone first. It's around there. Well, the only good thing is that 21 is still kind of bearing down on it. And I'm not crazy about it as I was earlier, but it's not that I think like it's just gonna slam higher. But it's definitely not giving me the type of candle that I wanted. I wanted that this one to kind of have that extra momentum because then I wouldn't have minded a little bit of consolidation and a continuation out of it. So yeah, there you go. I'm gonna move this down to where I can get a better idea. I'm gonna leave. Might as well leave my stop here. This is the initial trade, right? Yeah, as soon as it didn't break below here, you kind of like that's the part of the trading too, the mentality right there. Like it gives you this, and you're thinking, okay, momentous, I'm going down. But at the same time, like I knew that if we don't break and close below here, then it's probably going to come back up, and more than likely, it's going to come and seek some of these higher prices. Um, and I'm already, disappointed in the fact that it didn't continue. So, like, see what the 21 does. Fully intend on losing that now. But you see why, like the whole point behind the trade, right? It's pretty good liquidity draw. Just wanting to see it dip down in here. Not saying that it won't. Just not willing to risk a whole lot for this little bit of a move. That's the reason why I'm where I'm at. Take it easy, Kyle. Be careful out there today with the news. Appreciate you being here. Another couple minutes and we'll probably cut it. Come on, baby. I mean, I'm still liking these big green candles. I do like that. So just got to get that momentum going. And what's sad though is if I had have entered, let's say right in here, I would have probably moved my stop to break even there, and then this would have come close to stopping me out if it didn't get me, and then I'd been out of that trade for break even. As opposed to knowing that it wasn't like good enough. No, it's the 21 EMA. Look at that. It just doesn't want to continue down. It's gonna be one of those grinds. See, now we've got this right here, right? Yeah, we got this liquidity. So the expectation, I would love to see, this continuation down, but I believe that we're going to get a move up into that liquidity before the move down. Like that's, but I'm perfectly fine where we're at. Like I feel like if this breaks down below here, then I'll go ahead and move my stop to break even. If not, go ahead and take it off at this line and just be satisfied with a little scalp this morning. I just need this one to go ahead and go, right? I need to shut my mouth. Yeah. Yeah, it's got to. And honestly, again, if we do get a close below these wicks, then it should be a pretty good flush down it to at least here. It just doesn't want to. And if I'm in 5 contracts, right, that is probably a satisfying number. But yeah, this is not the scalping trade that I want to. But I mean, what did I expect, right? We had all this grind up, and now we're just grinding down. This is what I kind of wanted. Two decent green candles to the downside, taking out liquidity and some inefficiency, and then consolidation. See what happens. Right now, we're just not getting it. Yeah, it's a pretty straight line right there. So, but I think overall today that we end up coming down. This is just not, yeah, this is just not the type of trading I want to do. And, like Kyle said, it's between the time, you know, um, kill zones. So you're not going to get the same type of, reaction, I guess. I think I might cut it. I have a pretty good feeling it's going to come up into here. So I think I'm basically going to cut it at break even. Get it done on my phone. There we go. Covered commissions. Now you can drop. I didn't like this price action right there. So I'm going to take that off real quick. I didn't like this price action right here. The difference in this and kind of this area, this stuff right here, is the fact that we've consolidated, right? And take it easy, Pat. I appreciate you, man. You're welcome. Thanks for being here. So we've had like some consolidation right here, and we've taken out or basically a low. We've gotten into that inefficiency, and then we didn't come back down and make a new low. So the issue with this is we are building liquidity here for a run up. And we're almost just like we're needing a little bit of this at a time in order to make this run. And see, there you go. So as much as I fully expect to be down here price wise, that wasn't my trade. My trade was right now. I needed it right now. And the fact that it didn't go, cut it, I didn't lose anything, cover commissions. Probably could have obviously could have taken it for a little bit of profit, but who's going to take it right there? Because if we go down another couple of ticks, this is going to slam. So instead of trying to just sit back and force the trade to go down, just go ahead and take it. Exactly. But reading the market as I go, not necessarily an over analyzing it, but reading it as it goes, right? Building this, I know that it's going to take liquidity. Look at the wicks to the bottom side, right? We're just kind of coming down here and soaking up what we can, and now we're stopping in certain areas right there. So like should continue on up, and then it would not surprise me to see like a pretty good white candle and then an engulfing green candle and then a continuation down. Quite possibly. But you can see, right? That just almost looks like a bullish pattern. Go into even a 2-minute when they get closer together. So when price is doing something like this, the last thing I want to do is be shorting, even if I got a good entry, which I didn't have a bad entry. The last thing I want to be doing is shorting when the liquidity looks like it's on the top side. If I'm shorting out of this, I want to be shorting up in here. So but I think it's going to do me for this morning. Be safe today. CPI 8:30. I'll be around. But just take into account all of that, and then tomorrow's news too. I think tomorrow's news is going to be fun. But yeah, hey, appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all being here. Toshie, you have a good night. Thanks for hanging around, and I will see y'all later.